Okay, so about this topic that we're going to start this operational amplifier. So this is another kind of, let's say, high voltage, let's say high gain amplifier, basically voltage amplification. It's started and the integrated circuit form which we are discussing here is OPAM 741, and that was first fabricated by the Fairchild Semiconductor Incorporation company, and in 1960s, late 60s. So the name which we see here, OPAM's operational amplifier, and operational amplifier because it can perform all this mathematical operation, logic, and can go for, even can use for analog to digital conversion. So might be possible, and because of various mathematical operations or various functionalities can perform. So that's the reason that's been called as an operational amplifier. And what we are discussing is basically 741 IC. So that's basically your seven. It means the 7 pins in this. This is an 8 pin, basically is an 8 pin integrated circuit. It is a multi-transistor. So inside, when I will show you the structure, internal architecture as well. When I open it, so what you see the inside is multi-stage transistors are there, right, which are connected with the various kind of functionalities. So it has basically the 8 pins. So, and so out of 8 pins, 7 pins are uh, functional, in the sense that you can be used to provide some signals, and the 4 is basically that's your input, output, and all those, and 1 is basically the corresponds to that, only there is a 1 pin, there's one output, so that's correspond to the single output. So the 4 corresponds to like kind of like there's a input, output, and some V plus V minus power supply, and 7 means is basically the 7 out of 8 pins. 7 pins can be functional, can be used for this. So whenever look into the lesson operational amplifier, so the first block in this kind of like an amplifier is the first building block. I would say the first building block is your differential amplifier. Differential amplifier. So it's based on it serves as an input block. Basically, the first building block is so when I open the say internal architecture of an operation 7 OPAM 741. So the first block, that's input block, is basically the differential amplifier. So it's most widely used amplifier building block. And so to understand this, let's say I just give you a block diagram at this moment. So let's say give the two inputs V2 V1, and then we have a, let's say, the V0 output, and this is your differential amplifier. And let's say it has an again, since there is nothing feedback, so is open loop. So because there is no feedback is connected between the from output to the input terminal, so it's an open loop. So if it has an let's say AV is your A generally we represent for the gain, and since in the voltage, so AV, and let's say OL, so basically open loop. So this is, let's say, open loop gain. It is an open loop gain. So basically the ideal output voltage for this case, for such ideal output voltage V0 should be AVOL, that's an open loop gain, and between the difference between the voltages V1 minus V2, which is connected at this point, right? So what you see here, if your V1 is equals to V2, if both are the same, if the both input are the same, in that case output would be 0, right? And if it is your, let's say, if V1 equals to minus V2, you can see there's a going to be a minus, there's going to be twice of A and V1. So we define basically so what we see here that the V naught, it depends on to the difference between input signals. It depends on to the basically the difference between input signals. Right, so that's let's say the situation, let's say case 1 where if V1 equals to V2, so in that case V0 would be equal to simply 0. And if we have a situation where let's say V1 equals to minus V2, V0, we can find it out. V1 is a minus V2 or V2 is a minus V1. So this is simply a twice of A. Let's say I'm writing simply A, V, OL and V1, or V2 is minus V1. Get it like this, right? So we can define. So we define two in two different input voltages. Let's say the differential mode input voltage, which is your VD is equals to V1 minus V2, and common mode input voltage VCM, which is V1 plus V2 by 2. Right, so if V1 equals to V2, let's say if V1 equals to V2, their differential. So let's review the case once again. Let's if V1 equals to V2, what you see here, differential voltage is 0, and but the common voltage would be, or simply it would be either equals to V1 or equals to the V2, right? And if you look into the, if V1 equals to minus V2, so in this case VD is 2V1, and simply the common mode would be 0. So basically for an operational amplifier, for the op-amp, which works on this let's suppose block is a differential amplifier, so it should reject the common mode input voltage. So it means if the two signals are the same, then it should reject that one, but it should amplify the differential mode input only. So that's a kind of like a criteria for designing an op-amp, or to come up with an op-amp with having a high gain characteristics. So what we can do here, we can rewrite once again V naught in terms of the differential input, as well as a and linear position, let's say linear superposition for in terms of the VD and VCM. So if AD is a differential in gain, then VD plus ACM and VCM. So we will review this. We'll come back to this equation once again later on. So let's write down one equation. So this is your the differential gain, and this one is a common mode gain. So we define a term which we call as a common mode rejection ratio. Common mode rejection ratio, CMRR, and that's the ratio between the AD by ACM. So one has to, so it means if ACM is let's say 0, so it means the common mode rejection ratio is very large, infinite. So for an ideal op-amp, for case of an ideal operational amplifier, the common mode rejection ratio has to be very large, that's infinite. So eventually we can rewrite, we can express this we can express the CMR in terms of the dB, since it's an amplitude. So the CMR are in terms of the dB. Decibel scale can be written as a 20 log 10 AD over ACM. Right. So if we if we look into the circuit wise, so it is so let me draw just doing a differential amplifier block, so which is just for understanding. So minus VCC. So this is, let's say, input 1, input 2 RE, and so transistor 1, transistor 2, RC and RC. So this is an kind of like a circuit using a BJT for a differential amplifier. Right. So if you give input to only one end, so simply you are creating a kind of like a differential, kind of like a differential input. If you just give an input to one, so this input can be your inverting, one will be non-inverting, another will be inverting in terms of the op-amp. And what you see, the VCC, so plus VCC minus VCC, and this voltage for op-amp 741 can range from 5 volt to the 18 volt basically. So it can go up to this range. So for this design, so and this input is one of the kind of like a, let's say, non-inverting input, and this is a inverting input for an op-amp. So if we make it, let's say I can make a 2 from here just to show you the how the common mode and that looks like. So plus VCC, RC. Let's see, you give one input here.
Sir,
Yes.
in the
Yes.
first differential amplifier case,
Yes.
where do we take the output?
No, the output stage is different. So in this way, you can take the output from the on the transistor. But I just giving this is the output basically. You take the output here across the collector to emitter junction. Across collector to emitter junction. Yeah. So this is, let's say, the input Vi. This can be a common to both. So this is showing a schematic for common mode in case of let's see, define input here, and this is the ground VCC plus, and this is minus VCC RE. So this is an example of kind of like a differential input, right? So here it is your input, right? This is input signal, let's say the Vi or V1. So what I mean to say here, so this is how does the differential amplifier or the first block in op-amp looks like, and then we have the multiple stages within, so it's around 20. The number of transistor for an op-amp 741, it can vary from up to the 5 to the 22 or 25, so up to the 50 it is might be possible, depending on to the, as a gain it is going to be provided. It's high voltage gain, it can go for large gain we can achieve. So another point that I would like to emphasize here, if you look into this equation, so if you look into, let's say, this output V naught as an open loop gain V1 minus V2, and if this value is very large, so what does it mean? If this value is very large, let's say 10 power 5 or 10 power 6, 10 power 7, so what does it mean? The difference between, let's say, if this AVOL is, let's say, 10 power 6, for example, then the V1 minus V2 would be in order of 10 power minus 6. Right, so it's basically, you can see it's possible to amplify the signal even up to the microvolt level. So that's that what we can understand. That's if it is a, which we say infinite, but for an ideal condition, but generally it is made such a way that the open loop gain is 10 power 5 or 10 power 6. If this is a number, then in that case, let's say V1 minus V2, the difference between the input signal is up to 10 minus 6, can go up to the 10 minus 6. So that means that it's possible to amplify the even the very small signal, right, up to the microvolt signal. Signal can be amplified using the op-amp. So if you look into the, so they mentioned to, so it's preferred, so for case of op-amp, so it is a preferred that CMRR to be very large. For case of an ideal op-amp, it is preferred to the CMRRs to be very large. So what does it mean? That the AD has to be much larger than the common mode. So common mode basically, let's say suppose noise signal which might be common at both the terminals, so basically it should reject, it should have the tendency, the circuit should have a kind of like a feature that it should reject the common mode signal, but it should amplify only the differential. So the CMRR can be in, so we can say CMRR ideally it has to be very infinite. Oh, sorry, it has to be very large or infinite. So if you look in case of op-amp, so the symbol basically we represent within a like a triangular box. So 1, 2, and 3. So whatever we represented before, it's let's say 2 inputs and the 1 output here. So and then basically you're connected with the V plus V minus. So something like this VCC and minus VCC, and input 1 and input 2, and then we are measuring output from across the from here. Like if you are just showing the one block, but as you see into the more detailed one, probably you see the output stays again here connect through the BJT as an output stays. So it amplifies the difference between two input signals to give an output. So as I mentioned, so it have a multi-stage transistor, and so we came up with an op-amp 741, the first IC by the Fairchild Semiconductor Incorporation's company, and this I think in 1960s, between two somewhere here, approximately in 60s. So it is a inside it is a basically the MOSFET based. MOSFET means like FET based transistor, not the kind of like a BJT, but to make understand, so we are just showing in base of BJT, but actually when you look into the device, it's integrated circuit. So we use the FET, basically the CMOS based kind of transistors, right? So if you look into the so this input, so there are two inputs here. So what you see, the input with the negative terminals represented here is we call as an inverting. This is called as an inverting terminal, and this one is called as a non-inverting terminal. This is called as a non-inverting terminal, and here is in your output voltage terminal, right? So what is it by the inverting? So if we have the, let's say if we have a sinusoidal signal which is feed into the, let's say onto the inverting terminal, the output what we see here is have a phase shift or phase difference of pi. So we can see we have the inverted signal. So that means by the inverting, if we give a input to the inverting terminal, so you get an output with a pi phase shift. So if we give an let's say input at non-inverting terminal, you will get the same phase, you get an output in the same phase. The output voltage or output waveform will be in the same phase, right? So that's the difference between the inverting and non-inverting terminal. So what you see, this is okay, this is an ideal op-amp equivalent circuit. So kind of like let's say the only swing into the differential. So what you see, the open loop, so AOD. So basically for any kind of like gain, I think if you recall into the BJT where we draw the kind of like a circuit for AC small signal, so we use a kind of like diamond. So that means representing a kind of like a gain. So the what you see here AOD. So D is for the differential, A is open loop. Since there is no feedback mechanism has been connected, no feedback resistor has been connected, so we call this an open loop differential gain, so which is very large, and V1 and V2 are the inputs, and that's a difference between the signal. So what you see, the output V naught is AOD, V2 minus V1 as an output V naught, right? So this is something looks like yeah, this is an internal architecture of op-amp 741. So what you see that is the first block what I was talking about, basically your this block, and then you have multiple stages of transistors having a different functionality circuits, and the output is basically your this one. So you have non-inverting input, inverting input, and then you can see there is a VCC V plus and the V minus, and that's an output we take it. So if you look into the pin structure, if we look into the pin structure of op-amp 741, we start the counting the pin. There is a small dot is always will be there onto the chip, any IC. So there's a small dot would be there. So it means that we have to start the reading from pins from there. So we'll continue like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So this will be some kind of like a, so this will be configuration, pin configuration, how do we read, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 pin IC. So out of 8 pin number 8 is actually not only NCM is not connected, so is not being used into. So it means out of 8 pin, so only 7 pins are functional. So basically 2 are for input, inverting input, non-inverting input. Then we connect a power supply V plus, V minus, V plus, and there is a single output. That's a 6 pin number 6 is the output V naught, which is your here. And offset basically we use in case of there is some, let's say, error in kind of like fabrication. So one can correct those error by giving a certain inputs or certain voltage levels to correct those errors, maybe if it is there, or else we don't use actually if these kind of like a 1 and 5, but can be used as. So that's the reason, can in case of there is any error happens, then can be used to correct those errors by putting a certain small signals. So this is how it look like, right? So it has, so basically an ideal op-amp for an ideal op-amp, let's say if it is I'm talking about 741 IC, so it should have a very is a very high gain. It's in a very high gain amplifier. So generally it's used to amplify the voltage. You can see the differential, the difference voltage signal is being amplified. High input impedance, which is in the order of few mega ohms, and low output impedance is order of, generally is order of ohms, so preferred is less than 100 ohm. So infinite CMRR, that's your common mode rejection ratio is very large. And in terms of the bandwidth, so bandwidth means is simply range of frequencies. So we call as a bandwidth. So it can amplify. It has a large or infinite bandwidth. I would say large, very large bandwidth. So it means it can amplify signals of frequency with almost an equal gain. So it means that we say that is can provide it has an infinite bandwidth, very large bandwidth, because it can provide a gain to the signal of any frequency with almost an equal gain. And another one, okay, so it has, I think, as I mentioned to you, two inputs, one output, designed in such a way that it sends the difference between voltage signals, designed in such a way that it senses the difference between the voltage signals, right? Voltage signals applied at two terminals. So simply, let's say V naught is your AV, let's say gain, Vi2 minus Vi1. Right, so basically this is the input. So what you see, if I written V2 minus V1, so we can use the same way input. So somewhere here, so that means your V naught is AOD V2 minus V1. Right, so we can draw an equivalent circuit here. So V2 V1 V naught, since there is no feedback resistor at the moment, plus VCC minus VCC, less it has an open loop differential gain. It's not talking about common mode gain, so, or let's say open loop, we can say OL is better, more generic it would be. So that means AOL, open loop gain, and so we can represent in terms of plus minus VD, input resistance R naught, AD VD R naught, and that's your V naught, right? So that means we can case of since it's in a if open loop gain is very large in that case we can just denote this as an so thus we can sometimes represent as an so this is nothing, these are the 2 points. So here for ideal case AD into VD, so we can so we can define, we can get now different. So ideal is something like which we don't without any feedback, so it is an infinite open loop gain. Now we can construct some feedback mechanisms. Feedback register has been added into the, if we add into the this IC, so one can create different kind of like a, let's say different applications one can generate, we can get it. So let's say inverting, we will discussing with the inverting op-amp, non-inverting op-amp, and we're going to understand onto the let's say this is simply a circuit again which is connected onto the feedback loop, so that's we call the T network, and effect of finite gain. Since we are considering infinite open loop gain, if we assume that if the gain is a finite, let's say 1000, 100 or 10 or 10,000, right? So in that case how it's the gain is going to get, how the gain is going to reduce, right? And some more applications onto the on using a non-inverting like a summing amplifier. In case of non-inverting amplifier, we go for the gain the same way, finding out the gain of the circuit as well as how's the effect of finite gain. And one of the application using this is a voltage follower, and certain other applications like current to voltage converter, voltage to current converter, difference amplifier, integrator and differentiator. This is how a rectifier we can go for, right? So basically we look into the certain few more set of applications using inverting and non-inverting configurations. Okay, so one more thing, actually, if your input voltage is, I think if you recall from the BJT, if the input voltage is very high, right? So it's basically the output is distracted between the VCC, right? If the positive, if the inverting, let's say if we give, suppose VCC is your, let's say 10 volt, if you're giving a 11 or 10 volts, so it means the output which will be coming into the, in that will be distracted by the VCC. Right, so let's look into the first case here, and we uh, assume we work with the negative feedback. So the question will like, we if you look into this circuit here, if we look into the circuit, so what we are connected, so one feedback resistor is connected from, let's say from the output, the feedback is being given at the inverting terminal, and so this feedback we call it a negative feedback because it's going into the is onto the inverting terminal. And if we have a feedback system at the positive terminal, that's your non-inverting terminal, the device may give, right, so some more harmonics. So that means sometimes like oscillator you want to create it, one can create a kind of like an oscillator or some other device, some other can be used for some few other applications. But for to provide a gain for the kind of like providing a gain to the system, in that case one uses negative feedback because it can provide a stabilized, the gain can be a stable gain. So the first configuration that we discuss here is a inverting operational amplifier, so where we give the input into the inverting terminal here, let's say Vi, and which is connected, let's say the R1 is the one resistor which is connected at the inverting terminal, and we connect a feedback resistor, since here R2 sometimes we refer this as an RF, right? So and we assume that we assume that the op-amp which we are here is an ideal. So assumption is that we are considering an ideal op-amp. Right. So to find out the gain of this inverting operational amplifier, so since your at the non-inverting terminal is grounded, and since input impedance is very high, so what is the ideal op amp means? Your input impedance is very high. Second is open loop gain, that's the differential gain is very large, right? So very is very large. So what does it mean? So if this is very large, so what does it mean? If I look into the at this, if I look at the, let's say, voltage at this terminal, let's say here and here, right? So since your since it's senses the difference between the signals at the terminal, so your V naught is if you look definition, V naught is this, V naught is there's a difference. So the V naught, since we have written AOD, let's say V2 minus V1, since this is a very large, this is very large, so what does it mean? That is almost zero. So and V2 here, and at this point here, and let's say 1 and 2 means I'm talking at these 2 points. So it means your V2 is at the ground potential, this is the ground potential 0. So it means, so what does it mean? V1 would also be at the same potential, or if this has a certain voltage, then it would also have the same voltage, because the V1 would approach simply to as an V2. So this V1, and so it means I'm talking about V1 here, and this is V2 here at these points, right? Because of your high open loop gain, and since if it is a high open loop, if I take a 10 power 6 even, or 10 power large, so it means the V1 would approach as simply as V2. If V2 is at the, if it is a ground potential, then it will also be this point, the voltage at this point will also be in the 0, right? So it means, so this concept we call as a virtual ground concept, though physically they are not short circuited, they are not short circuited inside, they are not short circuited. So what we have here, so if you recall, yeah, if you recall, let's say this one here, so it's basically they are not, there is no kind of like a short circuit between these two terminals, but what we have here getting virtual because of high impedance input, high impedance, and open loop, high open loop gain. So the voltage at the this point at the V1 as at this point would be same as as the V2. So if this is at the ground potential, it would also act, it would also be at as a ground potential, right? If we connect certain voltage here, let's say suppose you connect a 1 volt here, then the same volt this will also appear at this point because of these characteristics, right? So and the current cannot pass through, since this is the high input impedance, so current doesn't pass through the within this circuit. So what's going to happen? So the current which is going to flow through the arm, let's say R1 here, so the same current would is also going to pass through the feedback resistor, that's RF or R2. So how we are going to find it out? So what we are going to do, so we just calculate the, first we calculate the current flowing in through the arm, let's say this R1. Since we know the potential here, we know the potential Vi, so simply the I1 would be given as a Vi over R1, so because this is at the zero potential now. So so this current cannot pass through this one, same current will be going through, so it means the current that's flowing through the feedback resistor or RF or R2, it would be the same as an I1. So I2 would be, I1 would be simply Vi over R1. So the output voltage would be your simply this at V naught. This is nothing. This is your the at this point here. That's the V1 minus I2 into R2, and since this is a zero potential, so that's the reason it's a 0, and minus I2 into R2, and I2 is not is the same as an I1, so Vi, so that's your minus R2 over R1 into Vi. So that means, what does it mean? That the output, if I take the gain V naught over Vi, it would be simply minus R2 over R1. Right, so this is nothing, this is the gain of the amplifier. So the gain that's provided by the to the input signal by this amplifier. So it's what you see here, that the gain depends onto the external passive component parameters. So maybe here let's say both are resistors, so it's depend onto the, that's why I'm saying it's a passive component. But in case of, let's say when we go, if you're one of the let's say it's a capacitor, it may be, let's say one of the component may be capacitor. So let's say it depends onto the external components. I would say, let's say it's the gain depends onto the external component that is connected into the circuit. So that's this gain which we here we call as a closed loop gain. So this one we call as a closed loop gain, because you have circuit is, you have the one feedback which is closed at this point. So this we call as a closed loop gain. Whereas open loop differential gain is your AOD, which is very large, 10 power 6 or 10 power that number, and the closed loop gain would be given by simply minus R2 by R1 or feedback resistor RF by R1. Right. So now if we assume, let's calculate, this is condition where we assume that the op-amp which we considered here. One more thing here, just to mention that I have omitted, let's say this plus VCC and minus VCC, but it is there, right, always. So you have the plus VCC and minus VCC, they are connected, right, assuming that. So for understanding, we have just omitted. So we have assumed that op-amp is an ideal. Let's consider that. So let's assume that op-amp has a finite gain, let's say A. Right. So what does it mean? V naught. So it has a finite gain, let's say A. Right. So this is 1, 2. Right. So it has a, if it has a finite gain, in that case we cannot apply the concept, the previous the concept virtual ground one. So what we do here, so it means the output V naught simply would be your A V2 minus V1, since this is your at the ground potential V2. So the V1 would simply given as a minus V naught by A. Right. So it means, so V1 is basically the potential at the at here. So we can find out the current that's flowing through the through the R1. So the I1 would be simply your Vi minus V1 divided by R1. So that's your Vi minus, you have the minus V naught A, so that's become plus V naught by A, and that's an R1. So we can keep it, this is an I1. So large input impedance, so it means since we are saying that it's has a high input impedance, so the current is not going past through. So current whichever I1 goes to, so the same current passes to R2. So I2 is equals to I1. So in that case, what you can do, the V naught output will be simply V1, that's your at this point, minus I2 R2 which is your minus V naught by A minus I2 is your I1, since your I2 is an I1. So this you can write down as an Vi plus V naught by A by R1, right, and multiplied by R2. So this is we have to rearrange. So what we get, we have to find out V naught from here. So we get a V naught here, V naught here. So we have to rearrange the terms, do a little bit algebraic uh, simplifications. So what we can get it here, the V naught over Vi, it's simply minus R2 by R1 divided by 1 plus 1 by A, 1 plus R2 by R1, right? So what you're going to see that, so this is which has a finite gain, and we had the previous expression V naught by Vi is minus R2 by R1, right? So this is two different situations. So when the is an ideal, has a infinite open loop gain, and it has an finite open loop gain.
Sir,
Yes.
when A is finite, can we assume I2 equal to I1?
Yes, that's I considering high input impedance. That's I am assuming.
Sir, I
But
mean,
open loop gain is not open loop gain is not infinite. So that has a, let's say, certain finite number. For example, let's we do it in this numerical exercise that we can do it. Let's say you start with the A with the 100,000, 10,000, and then you go 10 power 5, 10 power 6, and let's R2 and R1 are the, you can assume, let's say 1 coulomb and 10 coulomb. And what you're going to see that how much is a deviation, right? If I take as an example, so that can be a good exercise. So maybe let's say the finite, you can do it the gain, let's say the gain ratio, or in terms of, let's say, without dB, you can just find out the gain ratio. So, and this one is for your the situation, ideal situation. So, and considering R1 is 1 kilo ohm and R2 is your 10 kilo ohm, right? So in this case, V naught over Vi minus R2 by R1, which is simply a minus 10 here, right? So in case of this is minus 10 here. So now you fill up this table. Let's say A is 100, 1000, 10 power 4, 10 power 5. Right. So if you do this one using so what you're going to do, A is going to large as soon as the A is approaching infinity, right? So what you conclude, but you can conclude from here, the gain is going to reduce. Of course, the presence of finite gain means that the gain is going to reduce, but as soon as, if you consider A is very large, A is 10 to infinity, the you get the same expression, right? So it means when I say A is tends to infinity, you get a, you're moving towards situation like this, right? So that's, I think that's, you should be able to get it, and you can find out how much is the deviation. So I think that's possible to find out in terms of the deviation, right? So assuming, let's say this is case for the 10 power 6 and the open loop gain was 10 power 6, so you can find it out. So you'll get it, basically you can see the deviation is decreasing, right? So that's a good exercise, you can do it, right? So that's about inverting. and I think we have some break for 5 minutes, and after that we resume for few more circuits. That's a T network, and then we'll go for non-inverting non-inverting configuration, summing amplifier and non-inverting amplifier. Okay, so let's do it after. Let's resume at the 9:10. So if you have any questions, you can let me know.
Sir, actually, my question was that whether this open that gain and the high input impedance, I mean, whether one causes another or these
No,
two
no,
are
no, no,
completely
no, no.
different.
They don't cause each. That's not. It's not like that. So we design such a way that it's a high input impedance. So that's irrespective. So open loop gain. So for example, if you look into let's say various data sheets of if you and if you look into various data sheets, so you'll see that open loop differential gain is 10 power 5 or 10 power 6, and this input impedance is of mega ohm. So that mega ohm always will be there. So number may be 10 ohm or 15 or 20 ohm. That might be slightly changed for different, let's say ICs or that one, but it will be order of few mega ohms only. Right. So if it is a finite gain, let's say if you use less number of transistor, maybe because it's in a cascade of multi-stage transistor, may not be that the gain is very large. So maybe it has a certain finite gain depending on to how it's been designed. But generally for this voltage amplification, generally it is been designed that it should have a high open loop gain, op-amp. But we would like to see the how does the finite gain impact affects the gain of let's say for the signal. If it is a finite gain, how is going to affect the signal gain? But it has a high input impedance. So once it is a high input impedance, we can assume fairly that since the current cannot, the circuit is not going to, let's say internal architecture is not going to draw any current because of high input impedance. So the current is simply going to route from R1 to the feedback resistor and then going like that way. Okay, it's fine.
Yes, sir.
So we'll have 9:10. We assume once again resume 9:10. Yes, so let's look into the say one of the application of inverting amplifier. That's your summing amplifier or this adder. Right, so basically and what we have, say multiple branches. Say you like to V1, V2, Vn, R1, R2, let's say Rn, and so the input is given into the non for inverting terminal, and assume, let's say we assume the op-amp is ideal. Right, so it means we can make use of virtual ground concept, and then what we we have done it already before, so it means the current which is flowing through, let's say the I1, this is let's say I2, In. So the current, the total current that's at this node would be your sum of all those currents values, right? So I would be your simply I1, I2, and let's say this is current I, which is also going to flow through the this branch feedback resistor R would be I. So we can simply, the I would be your I1 plus I2 plus In. So basically this is nothing, is V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2 plus Vn by Rn, and V naught, the output is your minus I into Rf. So that's your minus, get V1 over R1 plus V2 over R2 plus Vn over Rn and Rf. So what we see here, that output voltage is basically is in a weighted sum of the input signal, right? So whatever we feed into the signals here, let's say V1, V2, all those voltages, so weighted sum, because you have the weighting factor is nothing, is the Rf over R1, Rf over R2, Rf over Rn, right? So that's an output voltage, we can say simply as a weighted sum of the input signal, right? So if we look into one example, let's say this is you can try out. So obtain V naught. Assume op-amps are ideal. Yes, I think it's can try out this example. So This is so but yet this is find out VO1 which is connected, let's say, which is now connected to R3, and there is another signal V3 V4. So yes, everybody do it.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you get it?
So RB RA by R3 into V1 by R1 plus in bracket V2 by R2 plus V3 RB by R4 plus V4 RB by R5.
Okay, so it's quite straightforward do it, right? So you have to just obtain VO1 from here. So the VO1, as you said, it's simply your minus RA VO1 V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2, and then it just becomes the input to the R3. So the V0 would be your minus RB VO1 by R3 plus V3 by R4 plus V4 by R5, right? So this is a, and VO1 will use it from here. So that's a 1 2. So then you can just use 1 to 2. Okay, good. So this one more example. So this is your T network. So basically this is T because of your this assembling like this. So you have resistor on here, and the feedback under the into the feedback loop. So it's a T network. So that's the reason it's called as a T network. So you got a R1 and then R2, R3, R4. So if you want to find out, let's say V0 for output voltage, though the expression is given. So how did we arrive? So that's need to calculate. Like to try by your own. So answer is here. Anyway, so find out the current here. So since assume again that ideal op amp, consider ideal op amp. So this means that you're considering open loop, high open loop differential gain. So high open loop gain anyway. So that means that we are applying virtual ground concept. So this is the ground potential. So V1 is 0. So I1 would be simply your Vi over R1, and that's passes through here I2, and then the current is now. So at this node, you can see basically you are going to find out at this node the current or the voltage at this node. So I4 thus entering here, and this is leaving I3 and I2. So I4 would be your simply I2 plus I3. So we try out this example and see where. So basically you need to solve, you need to find out at Vx. So here this is quite straightforward. So I1, and this will be same as an I2. So that's whatever the current goes into this branches would be the same as an I2. Now there is a branch breakup here. So here to find out, let's say, voltage at the node X, Vx, would be simply your this voltage V1 minus I2 into R2, V1 minus I2 into R2, and this I2 is nothing, this is a 0 minus I1 R2, and I1 is your Vi over R1 because this is at the ground potential. This is at the same as here using a virtual ground concept. So V1 is a 0, so that's you get I1, and that's the same. So you get at this point. So it means we can estimate the current further. So I2, I4, so we can do it here. I3 is your I2 plus I4, right? So we can find it out. I4 would be simply your the current, that's an I4. The Vx minus 0, this is divided by minus Vx by R4, and that's minus Vx over R2. So what we can get it from here, basically, let's see. This is Vx from here, and that's whenever we get it from this equation. So just equate, should be able to get this expression. AB is equals to minus R2 by R1. Check it out. R3 by R4 plus R3 by R2. Yeah, so now let's look into the non-routing configuration, which is your non-routing amplifier. So where it means that you give the input, let's say to here, but the feedback is still as a negative feedback. So let's say this RF feedback and this is R1, right? So need to find out, let's say V0 for this case. This input is given at the non-inverting terminal. So what we expect, so if this input signal, this is sinusoidal, we get an output as an in the same way, in the same phase. Okay, so I think I forgot to put up on this as well. So for inverting, if you look into the inverting as well, so what you see is minus R2 by R1. So this negative sign which is coming into this expression, that signifies that the output is pi phase shift, right? So if we get as an input, so this is an amplifier, and but we get an output. The output is like this, right? So this is inverting amplifier. Okay, so when you look into the non-inverting case here, so now again we assume that ideal op-amp. So we assume that ideal op-amp. So it means we can make use of the virtual ground concept. So it has a high open loop differential gain and high input impedance is that's always there irrespective. So high input impedance, that is a designed. So you have the high input impedance. This virtual ground concept can be applied when we consider that an op-amp is an ideal. So this means the voltage Vi which is applied at here. So let's say this is 1, this is 2 here. So the voltage at 1 would be same as a voltage which is at 2, which is nothing as a Vi, right? So the current, that's I1, and this flows to the I2 here. So I1 would be your given by, since this is the ground potential, I1 would be a 0 minus V1, 0 minus V1 divided by R1. So it means minus Vi by R1. This is 1. And current I2. So the I2 would be your V1 minus V0 by R2. So this is nothing, it's a Vi minus V0 by R2 means RF, sorry, here I've written RF plus written RF. So since the current cannot enter into this op-amp, so this I is 0 here, I is 0 because of high input impedance. So this it means that I1 has to equals to the I2, so that now we can find it out, minus Vi over R1 would be your equals to the Vi minus V0 over RF. So rearrange the terms, so what you get it, V0 would be your simply 1 plus RF over R1, right? So that's the okay, V0 over Vi, sorry, V0 over Vi would be your 1 plus RF over R1. So that is a gain, closed loop gain for a non-inverting amplifier which having a circuit like this, one feedback resistor and R1. So what we see here, it's also depends on to the external components, which is the feedback resistor. So what you can, I just leave it up to you, find out, let's say, fact of finite gain, like the same way we did for inverting amplifier. So let's consider now A is a, let's say, open loop differential gain here. So we need to obtain, let's say, V naught over Vi would be something in terms of this, let's say, finite gain, and compare it with the V naught over Vi is your 1 plus Rf over R1. So this is for when consider the ideal op-amp. Right, so obtain the expression for the gain. Let's say when consider a finite gain. So what we also can see from this gain expression that it has a 1 plus Rf over R1. So it means somehow, if let's say if I make a Rf, let's say if we take it as a not 1 but make it as an if we use the short circuit, so what you can see that V naught over Vi can be equals to 1. So the V naught over Vi cannot be can be equal made to 1 when, if it is a 1, in that case what's going to happen? So whatever the input you feed into the system, it will appear as an output, right? Such kind of like a configuration, such kind of a configuration is called as a buffer amplifier, buffer, or let's say, or we can voltage follower, or we can do the voltage follower, because the output follows the input voltage. If it is a 1, if it is a become a unity, if the gain become a unity, in that case the output follows simply as an input. So it means that's a circuit we call as a voltage follower, or sometimes this also has been called as an impedance transformer or buffer. And this can be realized by, so instead of, so it means we just make a short circuit and giving an input here Vi, this is the input, and thus would give us making a short circuit, not an open circuit. So this one making a short circuit so that your Rf is 0 to create a short circuit. So this circuit corresponds to the Vo not Vi as equals to the 1, as your Rf is 0. So this circuit is we call as a voltage follower or buffer. Right, so other than this, as I leave it one more example to you. Okay, this is what with the finite gain you'll get it. Anyway, this is for inverting. We have done it already inverting. So you have to opt in for non-inverting. So I will leave it one more. Just hold on. Try out this one example. Two examples, so that's we can discuss in tutorial or the next class as well. So basically, So this is sample 2. Example 3 is your V1, R1, R2, V2, V3, R3 and R4. V0, V0. And assume in both the cases that ideal op-amp, ideal op-amp. Right, so we have to just express in terms of, let's say, all these voltages V1, V2 or V3. So please try out this, and then tomorrow we are going to continue with the tutorial on MOSFET. Already I think the tutorial problems are shared with you, so you can try out, and these 2 or 3 more problems on the op-amp. Other tutorial problems will be shared with you soon on to an op-amp as well. So if we have any questions, we can discuss. Queries if you have. Yeah. Any questions, any queries you have? So I left it 2 or 3 points to you here. One is in a effect of finite gain. You have to obtain for non-inverting amplifier case. You have to obtain the effect of finite gain. That's all. And this, I think one problem already you have done it. So basically these 2 more problems with the at non-inverting terminal. Now we connected the like same kind of like a, so we have to just use the superposition. So I think it might be possible to calculate. And now for if we have the input all to the, let's say, inverting as well as the non-inverting terminal. So that's another 3. So you have any questions tonight to discuss?
Sir, can you please show the
Sorry?
amplifier slide? Can you please show the non-inverting amplifier slide?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Tell me,
What
please.
type of questions will ask in Viva?
Yeah, so is
Sir, if the questions will be more subjective, then definitely you will face problem. Like if you ask some mathematical question, then that's okay.
let's see.
Sir,
There
the,
is no
the syllabus will be full or
there is no nothing.
decrease.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, the syllabus will be full or will decrease some
No, it
load.
is already. I think it has not been put in